With great love and respect in my heart, I welcome you to this beautiful Sunday morning. Namaste, greetings. It's a beautiful day in Sonoma, maybe a little hot today, so we are trying to stay cool. Wherever you are, hopefully you are comfortable, and let's take a moment to just settle down wherever we are. Pull your spine straight. Open your shoulders. Settle down. With your eyes closed, just peek within. Peek within. What's happening? Attention goes to the breath. We are not trying to do anything to the breath, just observing it. How is it reacting, or how is my body reacting with the breath? Just observing, not doing anything. With the awareness of the stillness of your body, observe the gentle rise and fall happening at the belly with each breath. Nothing more. We pause the breath for a moment. With breath paused, can you still imagine the gentle rise and fall happening at the belly? Not doing it, just imagining it. And release the breath before you begin to stress out. mindfully, we become aware of the rise of the breath from the belly to the heart. As the breath comes towards the heart lotus unfolds. And as the breath goes out, it closes. Keep opening the lotus with the in-breath and closing the lotus with the out-breath. Just imagining. With the next breath in, heart lotus open, and then pause the breath. Breath is paused, holding the image of beautiful lotus at the heart. And release before you begin to stress out. Again, pause the breath. As you release, the lotus closes. We bring the attention to the throat. Feeling a little warmth around the throat. Pause the breath. Release. Holding the attention at the throat, we pause the breath again. Release. I'm aware of the stillness of the body, stillness of the breath, stillness of the eyes, and stillness of the mind in the center of the forehead. Release the breath before you begin to stress out. Keep the attention at the center of the forehead. Holding the awareness of the stillness of the eyes. And slowly welcoming a nice deep breath. We open our eyes, greet each other. Thank you all for taking this time. तरुअर फल नहीं खात है, सरिता पिए न नीर, परमारथ के कारणे साधुन धरा शरीर. Got it? तरुअर फल नहीं खा. It's a old poetry. A tree does not eat its own fruit. Sarita piye na neer, and the river doesn't drink its own water. Paramarath ke karane, for the welfare of all, sadhun dhara sharir, the great beings have taken this life. Thinking of the welfare of others, thinking of the welfare of the greater. What it really points towards is a life of service, seva, selfless service. We all talk about sadhana. Through sadhana, we connect with our fullness. Overflow of that fullness is seva. Being of seva, being of service, there is lots of talk about being of service. Everybody wants to do some good. Everybody wants to be useful, find meaning in life. Something is better than nothing. Do whatever comes your way. But the highest form of seva is doing something for the other without expecting anything in return. That's the highest form. But being a human being, our conditioning, what we see around, what we have grown up seeing, Little acknowledgement, little praise, little makes us feel good. Particularly when we see it being acknowledged by others. That's also seva, but it's a lower form of seva. The higher form of seva is that you do good and you feel good. You don't need, there is no need of acknowledgement. I know it's a tall order. Can we find a moment in our life when we have done some good for somebody else and haven't received an acknowledgement? How did that feel? If you really came from the fullness and you did something, you have forgotten about it. You don't even think about it. Forget the good you have done to the other, Baba says. It's our expectations of acknowledgement that brings us back to our lower self. It's good sometimes to go through the inventory of all the good deeds that you have done that you still remember. And is there any resentment around that? Oh, I did good, I did this, but that person didn't do this, so I'm just... That's an exchange. If truly I have come from a place of seva, selfless, the best is I have forgotten about it, and if I still remember it, and there is some expectation, resentment, we have to look at that. I see seva, lots of, being in an ashram, we invite people to do seva. Okay. Then they do things that they want to do, they like to do. I like flowers, so I'm just arranging flowers. There are many other things to do. There are many other things to do. Oh, I feel comfortable in the kitchen, so I'm just doing the dishes. Although there is lots of other things, but that's not seva. Noticing what is needed, and it may not be pleasant, but if I'm coming from a place of fullness, I do that. That's seva. So I see it all the time around me that I'm doing seva, Babaji. But what are you really doing? You're playing. You're just feeling yourself good. If you're doing seva, you notice what is needed. And it's not like if somebody else is doing that, that's not my thing. I just like this, and I'm here, I'm doing seva. You're just deluding yourself. It's better to do something that you really want to do, but don't call it seva. It's a very misused word nowadays, seva. And I also see people come, I have this job that I do. Isn't this job a seva? Yes, it is seva if it's some kind. what is your expectation behind it? That's what makes it seva. Sometimes people do seva because they want to be seen and appreciated. Call it, I'm doing seva. That's not seva. I'm speaking about this because it's so, I see it every day all around, and people come mention it to me. Nobody knows but you what seva is. If it's coming from that place of gratitude, place of fullness, place of paying attention to what is needed and fulfilling it, then it becomes seva. One of the beautiful teachings of Baba that I really liked was paying attention is more important than doing meditation with your eyes closed. Paying attention is more important than doing meditation with your eyes closed. Paying attention means what? Being aware. How is my behavior, how my being is affecting my environment? That's paying attention. I see in the ashram sometimes people sit there and just whacking away, chatting away, sitting, and they see the others are doing things, but no, I'm at the ashram. You're not at the ashram. Pay attention where you are, what is the dharma of that place. Then you are at the ashram. If you are at the ashram just to feel good, you are not at the ashram. What kind of company, what kind of conversation, what kind of activities you engage in, that's called paying attention. And it's, I'm not talking only about the ashram, it's no matter where you are. Paying attention, where I am, what is my dharma in that place? You go to a guest, somebody's house, and you just be your own, just the way you are in your own house, it can cost little friction. You are at somebody else's house. Pay attention. How they live, what is their, whatever, how can you sit, where can you sit, all these things have to be paid attention to. You're always focused on me, that's what makes me feel good. That's not a life of service. Life of service is, what can I do to make you feel good? If I'm in a place, what can I do to make this place maintain its sacredness? I was sitting with Baba one year in his old ashram. And this man came to visit him, and there was a beautiful flower that Baba really liked, appreciating it every day. This man picked it up and brought it to Baba and offered it at his feet and bowed. So, and then he started telling all his problems. So Baba just said one thing. In Hindi, the word he used, anadhikar chesta, meaning, you desire things that you have no right to have. You desire things, basically you desire things that you don't deserve. That's what he meant. Because that's your tendency. You don't pay attention to what it is, where I am, and just one little action of his just summed up his whole life. So pay attention. If something happens to us, we are always blaming somebody else. Look at yourself. Because it takes two hands to clap. If I am calling myself a spiritual person, this is my dharma, to always pay attention, look at myself, not at the other. And that is a sadhana in itself. That is a sadhana. By closing our eyes and meditating and saying, I am being holy, that's not sadhana. Sadhana is paying attention to your way of being, your behavior, how you conduct yourself, how you hold yourself, how you interact with others. Living in the world, living in the community, living around people, it's very important to not look at the other, but look at yourself. Even in your house, sometimes you are irritated. And when you are irritated at someone, you are always looking at them, what are they doing? And look at yourself in that moment. How are you feeling? So life of service really requires that. Looking at yourself and also the environment you are in, and fulfilling the need, whatever is needed there. When you are really doing service, it makes you feel good. And if you are doing something in the name of service to help you to please yourself, you are not going to experience that satisfaction. The satisfaction that we experience by doing something quietly for the greater good, that satisfies us. Then you have no need to hear it from somebody else. One year somebody had gone to India with me, and in Mumbai some boy was polishing his shoes, and this great thought arose to him. After talking to the boy, he figured out that this boy has rented the box with all the shoe polish and brushes. And the money he will make, he has to give away to the owner of the box. So this man just offered him some money to buy the box himself. 500 rupees, $10, $5. After returning to the States, no matter what party he went to, no matter who he went, you know what I did in India? I bought this box for the kid. And after you have heard it 10, 15 times, then you say, if you just kept quiet and not talk about it, then you can remember and it will keep coming in waves to you. Otherwise, you're shortchanging yourself, your good deed. Just be quiet. Remember that moment. Imagine what that boy is doing something with it today. Instead of making your good deed a thing for conversation. So, we also have to pay attention to that. The little good deed that we do, keep it to yourself. Don't make it a piece of conversation. Because that's also trying to fulfill, oh, that was so great. Yes. What I'm proposing today is look at the seva that you engage in and see if it's coming from the place of fullness, it's coming from the place of overflow of that fullness, or there is some hidden agenda, some hidden expectation. I'm not saying that all the time I see those things at the ashram. At the ashram I see many beautiful examples of seva. Some people say, oh, I'm here, if you tell me what to do, then I will do. No, ashram is not here to tell you what to do. It's a canvas for your practice. You come here, you notice, don't wait to be told what to do. Then that brings joy. So in your life, no matter where you are, look for those moments that are really coming from place of fullness, not to be seen, not to be noticed, not to be liked. It's just coming from a place of gratitude. Somebody sitting right here, and I won't name, but without being asked, unassuming, they come and even take care of the temple, clean it. Nobody's told them, nobody asked them, they know when it's needed. When they have a little time, they come and go away. They don't even stick around to have chai. Hi, I cleaned the temple, did you see? No, they just come and go. So there are those kind of graceful moments. And I say it all right here. So seva is a very beautiful word, and we all can engage in no matter where we are. Seva and sadhana, these are the two principles of founding of the ashram. Through sadhana we connect with our fullness, overflow of that is seva. So that's what came to my mind today, and I wanted to share it with you. It's going to be a hot day, and thank you all. I would love to hear from anybody if anybody has anything to say.